Hello and welcome to Hey Clarity. I'm your host Lindsay, and today we are opening the Akashic Records on the Akashic Records. So much fun. I'm so curious. This is part of the Alphabet Superset challenge with Struthless, who's a really incredible artist on YouTube, and he's invited his following. There's like 9,000 plus artists participating in this challenge. So for the next 26 weeks, we're going through the alphabet each week, devoting each week to whatever the next consecutive letter is in the alphabet, and creating, just flexing our creative muscles and putting our work out there. And I decided to use Akashic Records readings as my creative form of self-expression. So a week, easy, Akashic Records. Why not? Why not kick it off with a nice intro explanation? So let's get into this. I opened the Akashic Records on the Akashic Records prior to hitting record, so I've already said the opening prayer. So we're in the Akashic Records of the Akashic Records right now. And just even in like the immediate opening of it, I just kept getting like sources of information, guidance, volumes. They're kind of like encyclopedias of life. The wholeness, the expansiveness, the oneness, and like the micro details. So they're kind of like, it's like zoom out, zoom in, zoom out, zoom in. Like I'm getting like every detail of the universe is what they're saying. I didn't even ask a question yet. So I think they're getting to like, what are the Akashic Records? So let me ask directly, what are the Akashic Records? They're saying sources of education, sources of knowledge, wisdom, a source of knowledge and wisdom. So like subjects and topics. So they're saying, yeah, like encyclopedias, like volumes of encyclopedias, like the education of the universe, and like universal things, universal experiences. Getting like everything and anything is in there. All of the time, all of the ways, all of beings, all of things, all of ideas, all of concepts, all, everything, anything, universal. They're just like everything is in it. Everything and anything. I'm getting that like they're saying like for many people, like it's hard to grasp, it's hard to grab the concept of that because it's so expansive, because it's so much. Like they're just saying like informational, educational, non-judgmental. And like education, information, like clear. I'm getting like non-objective, like non-conformity. I'm getting real, clear, truth. Like the visual, they're saying like visual objective, like seeing clearly from above, seeing clearly from below, like in all sides of something, like, you know, kind of captured in a message. It's like to see all of it in like one thing. And it's not one-sided, it's universal, because they're like universal information field. So it's universal. So what is the universal take on this subject? What is the universal take on this experience? It's like the like 360, like all-encompassing source of information of a thing, of a subject, of an object, of a person, of a being. And they're kind of like, they're showing like like wrapped in like a little bow, like wrapped in like a well done, a well presented form of knowledge and wisdom. It's clean and it's clear. And they're saying it's like the most honest, like the most truthful, because it's non-judgmental, non-duality. Is there anything else? What are the Akashic Records? They're kind of showing, like, if you imagined like files, like they're like endless files. It's like there's all these files in my face, like rushing past me, and there's almost like a wind. There's so many of them. There's like a wind blowing off of them. It's like so many. They're just saying like endless, like this endless like file cabinet. And they're like, you know, some people call it like books. Like books of life, books of lives, the library, the archives. But it's essentially these sources of information on a subject, an object, a being, a person, a place, a thing. Like all encompassing of that thing. Subject or object. Okay. How did we discover our connection? How did people discover our connection to the Akashic Records? Where did this all begin? I'm seeing like early man, like in humans, like early man. Like I'm seeing like almost like caveman. There's like a naked man like walking through the woods, walking through the land, and he's sitting, at one point he's sitting and meditating, but he's also walking. And I'm seeing that he's like, there's like a struggle or like a challenge or just the quietness of like existing and getting clear-sighted. So it's like this person was like going through a struggle or goes through a struggle, and the answers kind of just come. It's like all-knowing. I'm getting, in this case, there wasn't like talking. It was just kind of like boop, boop, like information was coming through. It was very clear-sighted. Information just kind of dropped in and came through. But I'm getting like in the world then, right, things were really quiet. So it was like, you know, minimal interactions with other human beings, like survival interactions and experiences with like animals, like wild animals, like predators and things like that. But I'm getting the word like downtime, like there's a lot of downtime, a lot more quiet. And so it was just totally like innate and normal and natural to be clicking in all the time of just like knowing, like getting this all-encompassing knowledge and information. And I'm getting at that point, even like language wasn't like evolved the way that it is now. And so it was like, they're kind of saying like there was more like sounds and grunting and more of like telepathic communication, because like words, like the formation of words was like way less evolved, and like communication, language was way less evolved. And so there was just this like inner knowing and like this all knowing. And so they're saying like pretty much since the beginning of like human beings, and they're saying all animals do it, like all animals do it. I'm getting it's part of surviving, like it's part of being, whether you're a human being or an animal being. All living beings, like all living beings tap into this. They're calling it mainstream, this mainstream source of education, source of information. Like they're like we call it like flow, we call it ecstatic, we call it ecstasis. But it's really just when we're clear-sighted, when we're clear. And then it's like we just open up to this all-knowing. A bird just bumped into my window. Oh my God. Strange noises in here. Okay. Okay, what's the next question? Sorry, that threw me off. Why do some people find themselves connected or attracted to the Akashic Records while others are not? Like, why are some of us connected, we work in the records, we're attracted to it, and why are others not at all, or even repelled by it? They're just saying free thinking. Free thinking. I'm getting just like, there's the choice of like, I'd like to tap into something bigger and like be open to receive like more. I'm like open to like listening. And then there's like people who are like, I'd like to do it on my own. Like, so free thinking, right? It's like people are like, I want to figure it out on my own. And there's others who are like, I wonder if there is something that can come through for me from somewhere else, right? So it's like, and then those people like tend to learn that, oh, this exists and we do this and we can tap into the Akashic Records. But they're saying it's free thinking, right? It's an option. It's not a requirement. It's an option. And some people are like, they're interesting. They're kind of saying like egotistical, like I am man, like I think for myself, like I make my own decisions, like there's a little bit of like a taking a responsibility for your life and your lifetime, and I can do it on my own, and they're like, that's fine, like it's fine. And they're also just like, and there are other people who are like, I feel like there's so much more, and like I'm gonna listen to like more than you know on your own in your, like, they're kind of like in your small world. It's like you might just want to gather information from your immediate environment, your world, your lifetime, your existence, the people in your immediate environment. And then there are other people who are like, they're saying inner knowing, like they want to like they're saying like inner knowing, like want to focus on tapping into like themselves and their inner knowing. And then there's others who are like outer knowing, right? The outer knowing, welcoming and inviting in information, otherworldly information from otherworldly resources, otherworldly information support. And they're just showing like layers of realms, right? And we can like choose these layers of realms to like want to connect to or not. And so that's all. They're just saying it's like free thinking. And they're also like overthinking. Oh, they're saying like you can, like, if you're choosing to like do it all on your own, you can be prone to like overthinking. Like your knowing can come from overthinking, where they're kind of like, or you can like let it come to you and like let all these like otherworldly sources of information like bring it to you. Like, so you can be receptive and allow it to come through you and come to you. And then, you know, make your choices and your decisions based on that. So they're actually saying like it's actually much easier, and it can kind of release the pressure valve. They're saying of like overthinking, if you let it come to you and you let it come through you, instead of trying to like struggle through it and like try and figure it out on your own. It's like, well, there's this huge source of education, knowledge, wisdom, support, kind of like all-knowing, all-seeing, fairness. There's a fairness from the Akashic Records. And they're saying you could open to this, and it's just, it's more relieving, they're saying, of like the overthinking. I'm gonna let it come to me. And it doesn't have to be so like strictly the Akashic Records, but it could just be the invitation to say, I'm gonna let this come to me. They're kind of saying, I'm gonna sleep on it, right? Or like if you daydream and kind of get lost, they're like, get lost in the sauce, you know, kind of let go. and then boop, it comes to you, right? So they're just saying it's easier. It's easier on your mind and like overthinking, like the mental stresses. It's easier on your brain, your mind, your like mental health to like not feel like you have to figure it all out on your own. They're saying like release some of that pressure on you because there are answers everywhere, anywhere, if you allow them to come through, if you allow them to come to you. And so you do not have to specify like, I'm tapping into the Akashic Records unless you want to, just tapping into like the immediate environment to inform you, right? And it's kind of like you can invite different levels of realms to participate and partake in helping to like release and relieve some of that overthinking. So they're saying it's like a tool, like resources. Okay. Those were like the benefits. I was going to say, what are the benefits of working in the Akashic Records? They're just saying like it like releases this over evaluation and this overthinking, and they're saying like mental illness, mental stress, like judgment, like overthinking. It just like releases that pressure valve. Why? Let's see. So why might someone be turned off by or afraid of or feel repelled by the Akashic Records? Why might someone be like turned off or put off by the words Akashic Records? I'm getting that they don't see it as a source of like replenishment, and they're showing like someone might go like food, like give me food, like material physical consumption is like, so consumption, so like food as a symbol of like consumption. So they're saying like you might prefer to like consume like knowledge and reading books, consume food, consume in the material world. This kind of like material world consumption might be your, preference for receiving knowledge. And I'm getting like they're giving the word like spooky, like people, there's like hindrance. They're saying hindrance around it because like I'm getting don't get it, like people don't get it, and so they're like the unknown, like the mysteries, people are spooked by it or they think it's spooky, and then they're laughing, they're kind of like ha ha ha, no, this is completely natural, and this has been like from like the beginning of time and the beginning of humans, like this is a source of like receiving knowledge and information, like this is, they're like it's no spookiness, like there's nothing to be scared of here. Clear insights, clear truth, knowledge, wisdom, like very straightforward. Getting like reflections, like reflect, okay. Now they're getting into like more of like people might be afraid of it because they don't want to see themselves. Like they're not ready to look at the truth. That makes sense. People who don't want to reflect, I'm getting like, I don't want to see the reflection of myself. Like someone saying like, I don't want to dig deeper. I don't want to look at myself. I don't want to self-reflect. I don't want to be self-aware. So it's like, I'm getting that there's like an all-knowing, like there's an all-knowing that like everything is in here, but like maybe not all-knowing that like this is non-judgmental. And so people are like it's kind of like when people talk about doing like the work, like doing the work on yourself. And they're saying it's like really about like self-awareness and truth. And some people know that they have some like, I'm getting like a lot of untruth, and that if they tap into the records, like that will be revealed. And they're saying like, keep saying replenished. Like they forget that it can be replenished, like more answers, right? So it's like someone might be afraid to tap in and connect because they don't want the truth to be revealed to them. But they're saying, like, after the like illumination and the awareness is brought to you, and they're saying in a loving way, like from the records, it's always this very like peaceful, clean, they're saying humorous, like funny, like lighthearted way. Whenever that comes through, you can continue your questioning, right? It's like, well, how can I see myself in a light where like I'm not beating myself up over this thing, right? So they're kind of like, you become like face to face with the truth. And so if people don't want to be seen in that way, they don't want to see themselves in the truth, they don't want to see others in the truth, if they're not ready to be met with this clean, clear reflection, they're not going to be attracted to the Akashic Records. They're going to be repelled by it. So they're saying like truth and like divine timing. It's like when you're ready. Like when you're ready, you might feel called to the Akashic Records. You might sit in meditation and tap into them on your own. They're showing, you know, again, like a modern day version of the like caveman walking around in the woods. They're showing someone today walking around in the woods, and they just kind of are looking at the ground as they're walking, maybe taking a hike, and then boop, something just comes in and they get it, right? So it happens accidentally. It doesn't have to be forced. Like you can invite, you can present the invitation to open and connect, or you can let it happen kind of automatically. But they're saying that's the general thing, is like some people are afraid of the truth, and so they're not going to be interested or attracted to the Akashic Records because they are like, they're kind of like blaring truth, like lots of like illumination on the truth. And there's a misconception that the truth is like, could be a bad thing if you've got like bad things like secrets. And it's like, they just don't know that like the way that it's going to be presented is very much in like a loving, humorous way that allows someone to see themselves, even to see those like dark, shadowy parts in a positive light, right? And they're saying like, it's not tough love, it's real love. It's not tough love, it's real love. Like you're not going to come into the records and ask questions, you know, and be met with like, they're basically saying you're not going to get beat up. You're not going to get beat up in the records. Like they're going to like show you this, like, here you go. Like this is what's going on. Okay? Okay. And then your follow-up to that is, what can I do about it? Or how can I be better? Or how can I move forward in a different light? Or how can I, you know, correct this mistake I made? And so they're kind of saying like, keep inquiring, right? But people don't want to even see the truth. So there's no way, they're not going to get to the part of like inquiring further. So that's they're saying that's the biggest like misconception about the records, is like, it's like spookiness. And it's like, it's not spookiness, it's that people are afraid to look at their own reflection. People are afraid to like learn the truth. They're like, what's it going to tell me? You know, because they're kind of like, we all know, like our souls connect to the records. Like we've been doing this forever. And so people know like the realness of the records. And so you're either going to be called to it because you're like super into like, they're saying a true calling, like the truth. You want the truth. You want something clean and clear and direct and straightforward and non-emotional, non-judgmental, like non-dualistic. Like you either like live in that balanced place, or you really like struggle with it. And so they're kind of saying like the topsy-turvy, like the waves of like struggling with, they're saying like shadow, you know, like darkness, shadow. Like if that is scary to you, then you're gonna have this misconception about the records, because you forgot that it's all knowing, but it's like in a loving way and like a humorous way. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna give it up to the records. Like, what's the most important message that everyone could benefit from knowing about the Akashic Records? What's the most important message? It's a true calling. It's a true calling. It's like truth is calling for you. When a truth is calling for you, like when you're ready and a truth is calling for you, and they're saying maybe you've been spiraling or avoiding or struggling with like getting to the truth. It's kind of like you have all these questions, like it's like you have repetitive stories in your mind or questions in your mind, and it's like if you just want to like live in that misery of that, like if you just get stuck and are like in that misery, but if you're like surrendered to it and you're just like I just want the answers, once you kind of like let go and like you're really open to like really receiving the answers, you might feel more aligned with exploring and connecting and working in the Akashic Records. So it's a true calling, and it's a truth calling. And so if there's a truth that is trying to reach you, you may accidentally connect to the Akashic Records and it drops in, or you might discover the Akashic Records through community or someone here and someone there is giving a reading, and suddenly you're like, I want to do that, right? But they're kind of like, until then, like until that point, you might not resonate with the Akashic Records. So they're saying like to not be partial, like either way. It's really just a matter of they're like, ready or not, like, are you ready or not? But it is a truth calling and a true calling. Okay, are there any closing messages? What's the closing message? They're showing this like super fat book, and it's like going through all the pages, like, and someone's looking at it and just like, oh my God, like it's fascinating, it's mind-blowing, like there's just so much in there. And they're just showing like someone's face like lighting up. Like that's what happens when you connect to the records. It's like, you're just like, are you kidding me? Like everything's in here, like everything's in here. Like I can connect to everything, and it's like, boom, like let's have some fun, right? And it's so funny because that's how I feel about the records. Like, let's have some fun. Let's open the records on everything. Okay, cool. So I hope that answered some general questions about the Akashic Records. And next week will be B week. And again, in the spirit of even, this reading, we can open the records on anything. So start thinking about a topic or a subject that starts with the letter B, and you can leave it in the comment section, or you can follow me on Instagram and DM me there. Let me know the topic under the letter B and include your questions. And I will see you guys next time. I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching.